In literature and in music, there is something called a prologue. It is simply the introductory section of a play or a musical composition, and its function is, to put it simply, to provide context and background information so the person listening to the music or reading the literary work will understand what's going on. There are also prologues in the Bible. One well-known prologue is Matthew 28, verse 18. It is a prologue to the Great Gospel Commission. That verse tells us, "And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth." This is the background against which the Great Gospel Commission must be understood. All power, said Jesus, is given to me in heaven and in earth. In other words, everywhere. Surely this means Jesus Christ is God, because only God has all power. It is against the background of divine power that the disciples were told, "Go and preach the gospel." The Ten Commandments also have a prologue. Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 and 2. "And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." This establishes the background against which the Ten Commandments must be understood. The background provides God's love, God's authority, and God's power. He demonstrated his power in sending plagues upon Egypt, parting the Red Sea, sending manna from heaven, bringing water from a rock. He demonstrated his authority by compelling Pharaoh against Pharaoh's will to release the Israelites. He demonstrated his love by acting upon his compassion for Abraham's descendants by bringing them out of bitter slavery and servitude. When you read the Ten Commandments, you're not reading what your pastor tells you. You're not reading the words of the Pope or the President of your country or Prime Minister. You are reading the words of the God of heaven and earth, the all-powerful, all-conquering God. So when you read, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy," you're not listening to my words or the words of your spiritual leader. You are listening to the words of the Most High God. Surely you will not disregard the words of God. You may disregard mine. Some people disregard their parents' word, the leader's word. Will you disregard the word of God, my listening friend? It is the God of heaven and earth who said, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." Will you not listen to the God of heaven and earth, the lawgiver, the lover of your soul, he who desires to save you into his kingdom? My dear friend, as your friend and the one who comes to you weekly, I urge you, consider seriously obeying the voice of God. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. God bless you and doubly bless your children.